What's up, guys? If you're an overweight guy who's tried dieting before, lost some weight, then gained it back, then this video right here is for you. Because this isn't about motivation and it's not another 30-day transformation promise. This is about how I specifically lost 70 pounds in 7 months. And that's without starving myself, without any extreme cardio, and without giving up real world scenarios and real life situations, and how I help other men do the exact same thing is using a system that actually works, right? I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here to give you any types of tricks or whatever. I'm here to show you what works and who this is for, right? So if you're tired of restarting and you want fat loss that actually lasts, then keep watching. All right, guys. This is how I lost 70 pounds in 7 months while serving active duty in the Army, training early mornings, and still eating real food, right? So there's no extremes, no guessing, no rebounding. It's just not another motivational transformation story. This is a complete breakdown of the exact structure that took me from 247 pounds to the leanest I've ever been without sacrificing my career, my relationships, or my sanity. If you've ever been stuck in the cycle of starting over every Monday, convinced that discipline is your problem, you need to understand something. You don't lack willpower, you lack a system that actually works with your real life, not against it. Over the next several minutes, I'm going to walk you through the framework that changed everything for me, right? Not because I suddenly became more motivated or found some secret supplement, but because I stopped treating fat loss like a sprint and started treating it like an engineering problem that needed solving. The difference between men who transform their bodies permanently and those who restart every few months isn't genetics or discipline, it's structure. What you're about to see isn't theory, it's the documented process that took me from uncomfortable in my own skin to confident, lean, and in control. And it's the same framework I now use to help other men break free from the restart cycle for good. All right, so this is not motivation. Let's get something clear right from the start. This presentation isn't here to pump you up. I'm not going to tell you that you just need to want it more, that you need to dig deeper, or that success is just one more restart away. You've heard all that before, and if motivation alone was the answer, you wouldn't be here right now. This is a real breakdown of what actually worked, not what sounds good on a social media caption. I'm going to show you the unsexy truth about sustainable fat loss. It's built on structure, not inspiration. It's about creating systems that work for when you're tired, when you're stressed, when motivation is nowhere to be found, because that's real life. And that's what I dealt with being in the United States Army. Trust me, being in the field and going through the day to day things that we dealt with, I promise you, it was hard for me. But the fitness industry has sold you a lie. That transformation requires extreme discipline, perfect willpower, and constant motivation. The truth, those things fade. They always do. What doesn't fade is a system that's designed to work even on your worst days. That's what I'm going to show you today. So if you came here looking for hype, for someone to tell you just do it, or for another 30-day challenge that promises everything and delivers nothing, this isn't that. But if you're ready to understand why every other approach has failed you and what actually needs to change, keep watching. Because what I'm about to share changed my entire relationship with my body, and it has nothing to do with motivation. The numbers don't lie here, right? So I was 247 pounds. I was definitely uncomfortable, frustrated, tired of avoiding photos and making excuses. I promise. I hated taking pictures. Hated taking pictures. Obviously, you see here, I lost 70 plus pounds in 7 months. Sustainable structure built around full time job and early morning training sessions, which is PT for me at 06:30 in the morning. So these aren't doctored numbers or cherry picked stats. This is what happened when I stopped chasing motivation and started following a system. 7 months, no meal replacements, no extreme protocols, no sacrifice in my career or relationships, just consistent execution of a framework that was designed to work with my life, not some fancy version of it. The transformation wasn't just physical, the confidence that came from actually following through for once, from seeing my body, respond week after week, from knowing I had a system I could trust that changed everything. But we'll get to that. First, you need to understand that this isn't achieved through willpower or discipline. It was achieved through structure. I promise you, it's not through willpower or discipline. I promise you, it's through structure. All right, so real results, real constraints. You're looking at the result of following a system that was built for reality, not perfection. These photos were taken in ideal conditions. I didn't have a personal chef, unlimited time to train, or the luxury of making fitness my full time job. I had the same constraints you probably do: a demanding career, earlier alarm clocks, stress, limited time, and a life that didn't pause just because I decided to get lean. The difference between this transformation and every other attempt I made before, this time I wasn't fighting against my life. I wasn't trying to force some cookie cutter meal plan or unrealistic training schedule into my reality. Instead, I built a system that acknowledged my constraints and worked within them. That's the entire point here. Most men fail not because they lack discipline, but because they're following approaches designed for someone else's life. Someone with more time, someone with fewer responsibilities, someone who doesn't have to wake up at 5 a.m. to train before work. When you try to force fit those approaches into reality, you're setting yourself up to restart in a few weeks. I know because I lived that cycle for years. What you're seeing here isn't exceptional genetics or superhuman willpower. It's what happens when you stop trying to be perfect and start being consistent with the framework, within a framework that actually fits your life. That's the transformation I'm going to break down for you today. Who this is for overweight men, person that tried everything: keto, fasting, low carb. None of that stuff works, I promise you. Stuck in restart cycles, want real structure. If you're nodding your head right now, if that sounds like you, then what I'm about to share is specifically designed for your situation. This isn't for beginners who need basic education. This is for men who understand the fundamentals but can't seem to make them work long enough to see real results. That's a lot of us, right? You don't lack the knowledge, you don't lack effort, you lack a framework that's actually designed for someone with your constraints, your responsibilities, your real world limitations. That's what we're going to fix. Because once you have structure that fits your life, everything changes. The restart stops, the momentum builds, and the results come inevitable. This is not for someone that wants quick fixes, detox believers, motivation junkies, and shortcut hunters. There's no shortcuts here. The core truth you need to accept, right? Fat loss fails without structure. That's 100%, right? Motivation gets you started, structure gets you results. Every restart happens because the foundation was weak. You can't build a house without a foundation, right? Discipline is not your problem, and the systems outlast motivation. Motivation always fades, systems always last. All right? This is my story, right? Stuck in a cycle. You see me right there, fat and overweight at a little, outside event, looking upset and sad in my own body. I'm telling you, I was the guy who smiled through every family photo while hating how I looked. Always hated how I looked. The one who wore oversized clothes to hide the weight, who made jokes about being out of shape to deflect from how uncomfortable I felt in my own skin. And on the surface, everything looked fine: successful career, good relationships. But probably I was frustrated, man. Let's look at me. That's when everything changed, though. I stopped looking for the perfect meal plan or the ideal training split. Instead, I asked a different question: what would a system look like that was designed specifically for my constraints, that didn't require perfection, but built momentum through consistency? And that's what really helped me. System, three phases that actually work, right? You got the structure phase, the momentum phase, and the sustainability phase, right? Building the foundation creates habits, establishing systems that work with your life, then the momentum, you see results, building confidence, and it compounds, right? Consistently week after week. And the sustainability, you're making it permanent, transitioning from fat loss to maintenance, preventing rebound. You don't want to regain that weight back. And this changes everything, right? Fat loss, confidence, consistency. All right, that's what we want. So Yeah, this is it, guys. So if you're ready to stop restarting and start building a real sustainable momentum, I can help. I work one on one with men who are serious about ending the cycle. I build personalized nutrition and training plans around your life, your schedule, your constraints, your preferences. Then we create accountability and make adjustments as you progress. So you're never guessing, never wondering if you're on track. We do weekly check-ins. So you don't miss a check-in, and we can always adjust if need be. So now, this isn't a cookie cutter program. It's not a PDF and a pat on the back. It's real coaching designed for men who want structure that actually works. If that sounds like what you need, book a call. We'll see if it's a fit. Worst case, I'll point you in the right direction. Alright, guys, so if this video really hit home for you, and if you're tired of restarting and ready to finally do this thing the right way, then there's going to be a link below where you can go ahead and book a call with me, and then we'll talk through your specific situation and see if working together makes any type of sense, right? And even if it doesn't, you'll leave that call with more clarity than you had before. See you guys.